Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and yes, this is another flower deck, and yes, it's probably coming out the same day as the one that I just put up, but I'm in a little bit of a flower and plant craze, which I'm going to do another little short video just kind of showing you all my plant decks and kind of talking about what I'm doing with them. So that will be coming, but I wanted to open this, and you know, it's so gorgeously done that I wanted to make sure that I showed the packaging. So I can't open it until I film it. So so this is the Soulflower Oracle deck. It came with this beautiful, this is what made me want this, is because it's a dandelion. There is a dandelion card in here, and it is so vibrant and so full of color compared to some of my other ones, which I adore, but this just felt like summer. So she had a nice little note. I do love little personal notes. Thank you so much for your order. My heart is filled with joy and gratitude for this soul flower journey, and to you for sharing it with me. Love, Lisa. So I think that is really, really lovely. Little touches, and this is like a card on her other things. She has this oracle deck. She has temporary tattoos, she has altar art, she has a journal and calendar, she has cards and fine print. So she is just kind of pointing out her other things that she has, but it's so beautifully done. So gorgeous, and it just kind of goes really well. And then we have this beautiful packaging, which we all enjoy this. I'm gonna have to cut it. We do enjoy it, especially with these, you know, independent decks like this. You know, having it be sort of something, and you know, like a little present to open really does add to the experience. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So then here's another little card, which maybe in a cute little, you know, it's the dandelion seems to be her main logo image. And so we have this little single dandelion seed sticker, which I adore. And part of the donation, so this card lets us know that $3, so when you purchase the deck, $3 goes to treesisters.org to help give back and support the earth that supports us all. Women as a force of nature, on behalf of nature. So that is something that, oh, I ripped it, oh well. That's something that she made sure to put on here. So I thought that was also sweet. Not to mention, it just looks really lovely on the tissue paper. So then we come to the beautiful deck itself. It's in a regular tuck box. Again, we've got that little single dandelion here, which I love. You know, marketing wise, it's, you know, it's just really done beautifully. So we have Soulflower Plant and Oracle deck, 44 Oracle cards and practice suggestions. It says take a journey. It has a place for somebody, if they were going to sell it in their store, could probably put like a UPC symbol or something with the US suggested retail price, which I can't read, down there. And then life is a journey of self-discovery. The Soulflower Plant Oracle deck has 44 unique cards featuring an original artwork and message, as well as suggestions for use. And it has some of the cards here. So just a lovely tuck box here. And then within the tuck box, we have the cards that are, get out my cheese butcher knife, which works quite well. We have it obviously sealed. And here we have some extra cards here about daily draw. So there's no guidebook or anything like that, but there is, you know, kind of about doing a daily draw here, which just both sides are about doing a daily draw. And this is talking about plant spirits. that just as our spirit, our soul provides the blueprint for our own lives, I believe each plant has its own unique personality, its own plant spirit or deva that provides the blueprint for its life. How and where it will grow, its nutritional and medicinal properties, and healing energies are all part of the blueprint. The healing energy of each plant embodies specific soul qualities or universal spiritual truths that are present in each one of us like small seeds, dormant and waiting for the right conditions to sprout and grow. It is then that we start to recognize and incorporate them as part of our individual soul journey. Flower essences are powerful, energetic remedies that carry a flower's healing vibration directly to us as something we ingest. I believe the healing power of plants is also available to us simply by connecting with the plant in an intentional way, such as like you would with crystals and such. And also she talks about how her art has its own energy. So when she's painting and she's focused on the energy that she is instilling in the painting, that adds that intention as well, which I completely agree with. So we have that little card there, and then again the daily pick. That's all you really have just in terms of a guidebook. But that, the cards you'll see has quite information on them as well. So you'll see that there's actually 4 backings. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. I'm going to look. I don't know that they have anything to do like with subsections. I kind of don't think so from what I vaguely looked at, but we'll look a little bit closer at it. But in the way that I shuffle and pick, that's not going to make any difference to me because I, split. So I'm not going to be able to kind of in subconsciously pick a specific backing because of the way that I split. So that's not going to bother me. And look at all the beautiful, it is gorgeous to look at. And, you've kind of got these same little seed things here, but we've got some beautiful watercolor washes. So yes, I approve heartily of that. So then let me zoom in since we don't have a guidebook to look at. And you'll see that these are just beautiful and vibrant, which is what appealed to me about these. So we have the painting of the flower. We have obviously the name of the flower, borage, and then we have the keyword here, optimism. And then we have a sort of description here. Sweet borage encourages playfulness and spontaneity to help uplift your spirits when you're feeling disheartened and blue. Borage will help you to rise above sorrow and depression and instill fresh courage, enthusiasm, and confidence into your ability to move through life's obstacles. So you have the divinatory meaning directly on the card, along with obviously the title and the keyword. So we have Xenia for lightheartedness. We have Rose for joy. I really like how you can see that the image actually goes all the way to the bottom of the cards, but then we have this faint white layer over the top of it where you could put the text in, obviously, so you can see it better, but you still have the painting carrying all the way through. I quite like that. So we have Rose for joy. We have Calendula for communication. They're just so bright and beautiful. Chickweed for tolerance. Chickweed is tough and knows her power. She knows how to shine despite challenges and tough circumstances. When you need to make a difficult decision, chickweed will help strengthen your self-confidence and understanding so you can tap into your inner wisdom with grace and compassion. Milk thistle for forgiveness. Sunflower for confidence. I'm watching the backs to see when it changed. Iris for inspiration. So beautiful. Cultivate the beauty within so you can create and express it in the world around you. The evening primrose for rebirth. The aster for illumination, like a star illuminating your way. I love that. Echinacea, which I take tons tons and tons and tons and tons of because of my sinus infections. Echinacea stimulates and awakens your consciousness and your immune system, helping break up and release outdated personal stories, emotions, and attachments that are holding you back from positive growth and self-realization, and awakening awareness of your true self when you have forgotten or lost connection. That's really beautiful. Let's set that over here. Rosemary for clarity. Who are you really? I love that. The Stargazer Lily for surrender. Okay, so now we have a change. I'm just curious. I'm going to keep these split apart because I'm just curious as if there's anything different about the ones in the next section. So here we have Rosemary for clarity. Oh, I already said that. This is what happens. This is what happens. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, that's a new one. Okay. I'm getting myself confused here. Stargazer Lily for surrender. Okay, we talked about that. Here we have lavender for restoration. Lavender's restorative and purifying energy and aroma calms and uplifts your mind and body. That's beautiful. Oh, I love poppies. Purpy popple. Oh no. Purple poppy. Evolution helps you align your physical self with your soul purpose and your higher self. Here we have Black-Eyed Susans for recognition. The Daylily. We have a bunch of these all around my apartment. I just took a picture and I'm going to sketch it into, I'm kind of doing a sketch journal of plants that I come across. And here we have the Daylily for centering. Daylily is short-lived, each bloom fading after only a day. She reminds you to live the present with a deep understanding that you cannot change things outside of yourself. Daylily encourages you to live in the moment, to loosen up and allow natural processes and flow to occur in your daily happenings. And here is my dandelion. Okay, here we have Dandelion, my soulflower. If I had to pick a soulflower, there's a couple, but definitely Dandelion for me would be my number 1 soulflower. Release, let it go, don't hold it back anymore. Dandelion wants you to listen to the messages your body is sending you and to release the attachments that no longer serve your soul's journey. Whatever you're hanging on to, she will help you detoxify one thought at a time, releasing negativity and self-judgment and restoring ease and flow to your life. It's so beautiful. I'm definitely setting this up on my sacred space. This is the little note card, but I'm going to set that up for sure because love it, love it, love it. This particular card in this front of the box is what really said, uh-oh, I got to have that. Here we have Speedwell. I love that for insight. How interesting a little name is Speedwell. You know, I'm curious. It's called a Veronica as well. Very sweet little flowers. Anyways, moving on. Oh, I love this Lady's Mantle for nurturance, like being held in your mother's arms. Lady's Mantle brings feelings of gentle reassurance and joyful contentment. Love it. Pansies. I love pansies. Allow pansy to instill a sense of stability and safety in your heart. Resonance. I do like that keyword. Chamomile for stability. Also good for helping you sleep. I can't stand the taste of chamomile. No teas, nothing that have chamomile in it. Oh, just cannot stand it. Cannot abide it, but they're very pretty. Red clover, I love red clover for tranquility. Self-heal for responsibility. Campanula, campanula, alignment. I feel like this is, I have yet to go and compare my flower cards. I have to say we've gone through here and then here. I don't think there is any, and then of course these original ones. I don't think there's any reason for the back other than just to be pretty. I prefer my backs to be one color, but again, because of the way I split, it's not going to bother me at all. Bee Balm for Vibrance. Never even heard of that before or seen one of those. I love when there's just kind of curious ones. Like, it's nice to see the good old standard ones, but at the same time, here's Bee Balm. It's in my Wildflower book. Bee Balm 223. 223. Oh, look at that spikeliness. Yep. This showy plant, this name bee balm might suggest that this flower is pollinated by bees, but just the opposite is true. The red flowers and tubular arrangements of the blossoms make sense for hummingbirds and butterflies. Pollination by bees is virtually impossible because of the shape of the blossom. Interesting. Also, common name as Oswego tea is more legitimate. John Barham during his extensive travels, Oswego Indian countries. Very tasty mint-like tea from the leaves. So that's interesting. Other common names include Indian plume, fragrant balm, and mountain mint. Very strong flavor, mint flavor, make it useful for flavoring and cooking. It was also found to be soothing for stomach aches and cooling fevers. Perhaps the plant was also used to soothe bee or insect stings, and this might be the reason for the name bee balm. That makes sense. That certainly makes sense. Hydrangea for transmutation. Awesome word. Hydrangea reminds you to reclaim your power through the transmuting of emotions and releasing of victimization. You not only have the ability to overcome perceived obstacles, you can extinguish them by realizing you can move through them. That's pretty powerful. See, I mean, it's definitely an affirmation, kind of uplifting you and tapping into these soul energies, but it's not ignoring some of the difficult things either. So that's pretty cool. It's a very powerful. Wood Betony for grounding. This is beautiful. This is a really beautiful card. The Velvet Leaf for self-love. Softly reminds you of your true nature, pure love. No matter what earthly chaos, negativity, or suffering you faced, Velvet Leaf wants you to remember that you are a magnificent, pure expression of divine love made manifest in human form. You are love itself. Love yourself. You are loved. That's pretty strong. Hellebore for empowerment. Columbine for abundance. Bleeding Heart for independence. Forget-me-not for awareness. I like that. Yarrow, beautiful. This is in several of my flower decks for boundaries. Like a little umbrella or shield, Yarrow offers protection from negative energies or toxic influences. See, that's what I'm saying, is even though they are very clearly uplifting and strengthening messages, because these are flower essences, right? But it's tapping into and talking about difficult circumstances. So I like that. Nasturtium Vitality. It's really beautiful. Very cool leaf there. Plumbago for understanding. Mugwort for integration. There is a rhythm and a balance to all life, a dance between the physical reality and the spiritual world. What is that? Hawthorn, very, very important one. That's also in the Ogums for courage. I love this card. Now we have the white pine. Obviously you think, okay, well these are all flowers, and this isn't really a flower. I would think it's more of a seed, but maybe it's considered the pine cone's flower. I don't know, but I really like it being there, and I love the idea of wisdom. Lady slipper. I love lady slippers. These were in the woods where I used to grow up. Connection. Nettle or something like it. We also had another one similar looking to this that I was called something else. Jack in a Pulpit or something like that. Nettle for Transformation. The Daffodil for Perception. The Crocus for Opening. And the beautiful Periwinkle for Intertwining. All is well, all is as it should be. I love that. So there we have all of the cards. Let me zoom back out. These are exactly what I was looking for. Just this beautiful, whoops, got stuff everywhere. Just that beautiful, these are quite large, I will say. Here, I do have this still out from doing my other one. These are more like Oracle size, so this is a Llewellyn deck. You can see it's taller and wider. If you have the Pagan Otherworlds, which is a large tarot deck, it's still wider. So these are definitely like Oracle size. I feel like you would probably be best to side shuffle them. Ooh, it's a little difficult to do. It's a little difficult to do. Let me see if I can do a, might be able to. They're bendy, so once you get your hand around it, you can definitely rifle because of the bendiness. You probably want to bridge it to push them back into shape. The cardstock is quite similar to Llewellyn. It feels quite similar to Llewellyn. Maybe slightly thicker, but I don't think so. I think it's about old Llewellyn. Sorry, there's a difference. Old Llewellyn and new. It's not the heavier cardstock of the newer stuff. This is old Llewellyn. It's quite similar. So you can see that which makes a beautiful deck, right? It really does make a gorgeous deck to have the different backgrounds. Depending on how you pick, that could be distracting because, you know, your brain might tend to pick up on the backing. But the way that I split, it doesn't matter because I don't choose individually. I just want to give it a couple rifles because it's a new deck. Obviously, these were probably just alphabetized. But because I go like this, it doesn't really matter. I'm not picking an individual card out. And so it's not going to matter how I do it. Or then if I'm doing 3, I take from the split here, I take the actual split, and then I take the bottom. So either way, how I'm going to be picking the cards isn't gonna, my subconscious is not gonna key into the backgrounds. But yeah, these are really beautiful. I intend to use this more along the lines of a card of the day because I'm really working with plant energy. This, which I'm going to do a quick video about following this. I'm really sinking into that, and so I'm most likely going to, she has these little wood stands I have coming. I should have ordered it with it, but I didn't. I thought I could make one and I had a little bit more trouble with it. They're like rustic stands, so that's going to just go into my sacred space, and then I will just kind of use that as a card of the day or of the week. For cards of the days, I tend to, if I do them, I tend to set them out just similar to how I do, like I have a little grid that I always have on my table. This one right now is copper. I always have Herkimer diamond, but then these 3 things in the middle change. And so right now I have copper and ammonite. But this I leave up until it feels like I'm ready to go on to the next energy. You know, it's just time to change it. And same thing when I set a card out where I'm actually just leaving it out to set about. It's not always daily. It's just, and then when I feel it's okay, it's time to pull another one, then I pull another one. So that's how I intend on using this deck. However, I think it could also be a very good Oracle deck as well. I don't know. Let's just try like a strength and weakness. Oops. Because I do like, you know, sometimes pull like 2 Oracle cards, like with another reading for a strength and a weakness, or a do and a don't do. So let's just see how that would do. Which do and don't do's. Obviously, I didn't shuffle very well. So do have that idea of come to a place of clarity, come to that place of awareness, big calmness here. It's time to stay calm and be calm. Now, this is interesting because this has that sense of vitality, and it's saying it's motivating you into action. No more procrastinating. But if this was in a don't do, then I would say this was actually a time don't do and stop. Don't stop thinking yet. You still need to think about it a little bit, right? This isn't actually the time for action. So I think that you could still be able to pull off using these, even though these are quite positive messages. I think you could probably still pull. Let's try another one. Of a don't do, just out of curiosity. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm shuffling it first. So if we have surrender in a don't do position, so this is talking about letting down the barriers and surrendering, then I would say this is not a time to put your barriers down. You might need those barriers right now. This may not be the time to be doing that. You may need to kind of keep some guards up, because there are times in which we don't really want to be completely opened up to the world, because there may be some reasons why we need to kind of be a little. So it's not like we're not going to say don't surrender, or you know, you're always enough. That's not. I'm going to say, okay, you're not enough right now. I wouldn't say that, but in a general sense, if this is about opening up your heart, taking the barriers down, then I could say, okay, well, that's probably not a good idea to do right now. You might need to be a little bit more protective of yourself at the moment. So I think that you could. I probably would just use them as two messages of things that you need to hear right now. But I think you actually could. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more and see if it would work for the do and don't do. You could also use it as a weakness, whereas you might have this might come up and say, you know what, you have, that might be better actually, because you might say, you know, you right now might be struggling with opening yourself up, releasing the negative things about yourself. That might be a struggle that you have. And so being aware of that struggle, and then what is your strength to add to it? That might be a better way to approach it, as a strength and a weakness, so that you can kind of, you know, so that would be in with like another reading. So for example, what did I do with terrible feeling when you can't find your own deck? This is my old test deck, but it has served me well. Give this a little bit of a shuffle. And people have asked me to do a walkthrough of this deck. I am going to do so, my deck. I am going to do so as soon as I have the full deck and book and box and book and the deck, so that I can do a proper walkthrough of it. I will be doing that, which is hopefully going to be in a couple weeks. Pre-orders are up today. Orders are in. And so that I would promise I will be doing a walkthrough as soon as that comes to me. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just doing this real quick just to show you. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, if let's say I've laid down a kind of general reading, we've got this needing to connect to people, trust in friendships, that kind of thing. I'm not going to really, I didn't have any particular in mind for this, but you know, I go through that general reading going on there, and then assess the situation, need to pay attention, be mindful for those happy things that are there, those good things that are coming our way, that are good lessons as well to learn. So if I kind of gone through this, we do see some things eating away there though. And then if I chose, say, a strength, is that eternal sense of optimism there. And then if I chose sort of a, this one keeps coming up. Apparently it has a lesson for me here. No more procrastinating, right? So if we have that idea of no more procrastinating, just do it. It's time to action. Again, I would say perhaps this was talking to me especially, I would say, yeah, I do a lot of thinking in my head, and sometimes I have to get out of my head and just do it. So that would be an example of a weakness of mine, and needing to pay attention to that, you know, in response to whatever's going on in the reading. So I think this would actually work really well in that way. And actually, these look really beautiful together. 2 thumbs up for watercolor decks. So, and this isn't even my, that's what I was trying to find, is my one from the actual printer, because the colors are more accurate to the actual deck. But this is my old tester that got me through having to wait. And so I have done literally tens upon tens of readings with this little lovely tester. So I even though the colors are muted from the original, it has served me well. So thank you for taking a look at this. I'm really excited to work with this lovely deck. And I was going to say I apologize for too many flower videos that are going to be popping up today, but I'm actually not really, because we can all use a little flower, beautiful flower energy in our lives, and so I'm not going to apologize for that, because it's wonderful and gorgeous. So I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day.